I'm back, and I hope you are too. We're going to, right now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit more about imagination and surrealistic painters, and we're also going to do the actual project, right? And so make sure that you have your supplies, your white paper, pencils, erasers, maybe pencil sharpeners, and some kind of color, either crayons or colored pencils or oil pastels, or just something to make them really, really bright. And I want to say one more thing before we start up this project in real time, and that is I'm one of these art teachers that believe that it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry about being perfect or making perfect pictures. And I know there are some of you out there that are like that, because I have kids like that when I do projects in schools too. I just want you to have a good time and just be as creative as you can and have a good time with this. I want you to keep in mind also that creative people with imagination, are the ones that bring an enormous amount of color into the world. And what I mean by that is that, most people are, especially when you get older, before that, you have to go to school and you have to get a job and you have to pay bills and, take care of your car and, all the regular stuff, all of us humans all over the world, that basic stuff that we have to do, right? It's creative people and people with imagination that actually change the world and give color to the world, and poetry and dance and paintings and books and theater and video games and just everything. Fashion, wonderful architecture, everything comes from imagination. And I want you to know that you have that ability. You just have to kind of practice bringing out your imagination. And that's something, especially for all you wannabe artists out there, this is so important, right? Very important. So, we are going to, first off, I'm going to give you a layout of what I did. I don't expect you to do mine. I want you to come up with something different, something more fun. Oh, there you are. Okay, are we ready? Good. First of all, I want you to draw lengthwise, which is also called horizontal. This is standing up, that's called vertical, but we're doing horizontal work today. Because we are doing a landscape, I want you to do it horizontally because it'll give you more room. A landscape is outdoors, right? So again, you can start out by, I always start out at the bottom and just kind of, especially when I'm doing a landscape, I put the ground down. I never start my figures or my trees or anything right on the edge of the page. I go up and I put in at least one layer of ground, grass or cement or, that kind of a thing. And so you got to come up with something that you think would be fun to see in the world that really just can't exist, right? What if trees looked like gummy bears, right? What if the clouds in the sky were flesh-colored feet, right? Silly stuff like that. I want you to really go out and do some crazy stuff here. But what I did, a moment ago I mentioned something about when I first saw Avatar, the movie, in 3D, one of the most phenomenal images, pictures that they had in there was those floating mountains. They looked so real. And it's interesting because that idea was Henri Magritte, the artist's idea that he did back in 1920, right? He had a great picture. I think we've got a picture of it that we're going to show to you guys, of this giant mountain floating above a landscape. And so I kind of stole that because it was always one of the ones that I really, really liked. So what I did is I just went in and built some houses up in the sky, right? Real simple images. And then I put like some jagged rocks below it, right? And then I made one that was even bigger, right? And what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to make that there is depth in the picture, meaning that things that are larger in the sky are closer to us, right? And things that are far, far away in the sky are little. So I'm making this little house in the background to kind of give you an idea that there are three floating houses here. One is closer to us, one is kind of far away, but the other one is even farther away, right? Now, again, this is mine. I'm not suggesting that. Now you can copy this if you want. I'm just trying to get you to use your imagination, you know. Like, if there were houses that were in the sky, what else would there be? Let me ask you a question. I just made a door on these flying houses. Let me ask you a question. If we got up there by flying some way, would the doors be at the bottom of the house? Or would it be at the top of the house? You know, you're flying home from school in your little jet pack, and instead of going down here, you land on this platform up here, and you go in and you go downstairs from it. That's what I mean by using your imagination, right? So, kind of keep that in mind. I think that's a great idea. A little thing on the back and on the front. Here we go. Now, to make it look like it's floating in the sky, I've got to put some ground underneath it. So I've got one thing of ground, and then I'm going to put some more on the ground below it, right? There's like the forefront, and then maybe there's a hill. And then to make it look like it's ground, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some trees, some bushes. So we know right off the bat that this is a hill, or this is a mountain, and this is ground, this is sky, and these flying houses are right above the ground. Now you don't have, another thing, you don't have to explain how this happens. You don't have to have, you know, the science behind a floating house. All you got to do is, in your pictures, draw it to make it look like it's real. No matter if it can ever happen or not. Surrealism is creating an illusion, right? You are creating an illusion that something exists that doesn't exist, right? And if you have access to the internet, click in surrealism, and it'll take you to page after page of not just these two artists that I love, but there are many, many surrealists, right? And with movies the way they are now, you know, all the science fiction movies and, you know, Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and stuff, there's a lot of pictures, there's a lot of imagery of surrealism in these movies. So you're seeing a lot more because of special effects, right? They can, I mean, my gosh, they can make something look like a house is on fire and it's not on fire, right? So I think that would be kind of a cool thing for you to remember while you are drawing your your picture, your surrealistic picture. And on this one, I put some clouds above the hills and below the clouds, right? There we go. Can you imagine a world that there's not art, that crayons were never invented? Can you imagine no music? Can you imagine no dance? Can you imagine cures for diseases? There's no cures for diseases. That basic antibiotics that we take when we get a real bad sore throat don't exist. What about incredible looking cars? I know all of us have been riding or driving down the street and we see this phenomenal car and you're going, I want that, that's so cool. Before it was an incredible looking car, it came out of the imagination of a real creative person. I would go so far to say that everything that we want that's man-made, right? Not nature or anything like that, but the things that we want in our lives that is man-made has come from a creative person with a great imagination. So when people talk to you about what makes an artist, I think that, first of all, imagination. Secondly, it's creativity. And third is being curious. What if I did this? Or if I was a doctor, well, wait a minute, what if we did this in the test tube instead of this, and maybe we tried this? It's using your imagination that has literally changed the world from us living in caves or in small groups of tribes, out in the country thousands and thousands of years ago, to all of the beautiful things that we have now. Yeah, there's bad stuff in this world, and yeah, there's ugly stuff in this world, but it's people that have that vision. And I think most of you out there that are listening to me right now have that imagination, and you just got to click into it. You have that creativity, and you just have to click into it and own it. And again, be curious. We did a program about curiosity and how important that is. I tell you what, we'd still be walking around in wearing leaves on our feet to keep the blisters off of them because somebody hadn't invented shoes. I know that sounds really weird, but if you really think about it, it's true. It's imaginative people that do that. And I want you to be like that because you're going to be the next generation of people to change the world and what it looks like. Yeah, you over there in the corner, yeah, that girl right there, yeah, you are going to be the next generation of people that blow our minds with incredible things. So start early, right? So anyway, listen, I want you to, I didn't get to any coloring, but you guys know how to color. I just want you to get in, enjoy this. And once you're finished with this, get outside in this beautiful weather because it is phenomenal outside right now. It's like 64 degrees, sunshiny, a light, cool breeze. It's wonderful. And I want you to get out there and enjoy that too. So until next time, I want you to stay safe. I wear this every place I go outside. So anyway, stay safe. Wear one of these when you go outside. Be creative. Use your imagination to change the world. And guess what? I want you to start right now. I'll see you next time. Have fun. Bye-bye.